What most people get wrong when learning a language, and this is actually one of the topics that I always wanted to talk about because I think that the language community, at least right now, always thinks that language learning always have to be fun. Language learning always have to it always have to be fun. You always have to stick to it. But there are some days in which even the fun things can be boring. And those days, I think that's when you can apply discipline. Those days is when you can do more than the average person. Those days is when you can improve more. And actually, the actual language learning community always says that if it's a boring day, you shouldn't do anything and you should always stick with fun things. But I actually don't agree. I actually, yeah, just don't agree with this. If you're interested on learning Japanese or on learning whatever language that you want, in the description I have a PDF. I have actually 10 PDFs in which I explain a step-by-step process on how to learn these languages, and on the process of learning a language, I actually also explain how to get discipline. Why did you listen to me on the topic of this video? Well, I have done more than 10 videos on the topic of learning languages, how meditation can help you on learning a language, how to apply discipline on learning a language, how my journey on Japanese has been, like all of these things. And if I'm going to be talking about things like discipline, I think that 3 years of training calisthenics can actually tell you something about how disciplined I am. So, yeah, the first point is it will be something that is always fun. Like most people always think about this, and I really don't agree. Like it doesn't really have to be fun always. That doesn't really make sense. For example, like the last anime that I'm watching, like this anime that I'm watching right now, is an anime about criminals and investigations, right? Now, this anime contains actually a lot of vocabulary that I don't know, and I'm actually fine with that. It's just that most people always go for the easy anime that they really enjoy watching. And don't get me wrong, like that's actually good. Like if you're gonna enjoy watching an anime and you can do that, you're probably going to get a pretty good level if you can watch that anime or those animes that you really want to see for like 10 hours. But there's a point in which watching those types of anime is not going to be efficient because you know the vocabulary of that anime and you're going to get stuck. So you have to leave your zone of comfort and watch animes that have more difficult vocabulary so you can actually be more proficient on the language that you want to learn. In my case, yeah, I'm watching this anime which is about criminals and investigations, and it has actually vocabulary that I don't know and vocabulary that is difficult. So if it has vocabulary that is difficult and vocabulary that I don't know, then it's something that I can use to improve in my uh, language acquisition. So yeah, the point is that it's not going to always be fun. Like there are some days in which um, learning a language, even if it's fun, it's going to be boring. Like but those days are when you can do more progress. That's just the point. If you're gonna stick to doing the boring things. No, another point is just that they stick to the same method forever. It's not really useful to watch anime always, especially since the vocabulary of the average anime is very simple. Like, this is kind of the same point, but the thing about this is that they stick to always watching anime, for example, or always watching manga, or always reading books. Like, they stick to the same type of vocabulary for a long period of time, and there's just a point in which you know all of the vocabulary that is in that type of method. So um you should actually change methods and know more vocabulary of other methods. If you always read books, you should try watching anime. If you always watch anime, you should try reading manga. If you always read manga, you should try watching anime. If you always watch, like you get the point. Like they always stick to the same method, and when you stick to the same method, your Japanese or like type that whatever type of language you're learning, you should you shouldn't like stick to the same method. Like for me at least, that just doesn't make any sense. The third and last point is that they get addicted to the method of learning, like watching anime, playing video games, Netflix, TikTok. You get the point. Like they literally just get addicted to that thing. And I don't know about you, but at least for me, if I'm going to learn a language, I don't want to get addicted to TikTok. I don't want to get addicted to Netflix. I don't want to get addicted to watching anime. For me, that's not worth it. So, what I'm planning to do to actually not get addicted to watching anime, because it's the thing I do. I actually do for most of my day, like I don't know, watching 8 hours of anime, which is really like kind of a lot. And what I will do is that 6 to 7 months from now, I will probably start watching manga, and 7 to 8 months from now, I will probably no, like I will start reading novels. I will start reading books. Like, and I don't have a problem with getting addicted to reading books because it is just a healthier form of like learning a language. If you get addicted to learn to like TikTok, for example, when learning a language, that is just not something that is going to be healthy. If you can get addicted to things like reading books or things like I don't know, reading manga is actually pretty healthy, but because they are just like literally, I mean, they are just like drawings and drawings with text, and reading books is just text. Reading books, I will say it's more healthier because it is less addicting than watching drawings. But if you can't make like the transferring, I don't know, or you can transfer yourself right away to reading books, maybe watching manga is a good step that you can do to actually start then after some months or some years even reading books after. So yeah, that is all that I wanted to say for this video, and I hope that I brought you some value. Thank you.